Most people already know the hip thrust is the best glute builder there is, and most people still skip it at home, because sliding a loaded barbell over your hips on the floor is an annoying way to spend 4 minutes before a single rep happens. That is exactly why these machines exist. Some of them load real plates for heavy progressive overload, others use bands that get harder the higher you push, and the right pick depends entirely on your space and how strong you plan to get. Every link is waiting for you down in the description, so let's dive in. Starting with the GMWD, and this one is not messing around. 14-gauge steel frame, commercial dual pivot bearings so the arm travels smooth instead of grinding, and a rated capacity of 800 pounds, which is far more than you will ever load, and that is precisely the point. The waist cushion is 5 inches thick and 21 inches long, and it rotates as your hips travel, so nothing bites into you at the top. The footboard flips between a flat and an inclined setting, and that small change shifts the emphasis just enough to keep your training from going stale. Band pegs are built in as well, so once plates alone stop feeling hard at lockout, you can add elastic tension on top and make the finish brutal. It does ask for real floor space, close to 6 feet long and 31 inches wide, so this is a machine you give a corner to and leave there permanently. The assembly guide also expects you to pay attention, so take the build slowly and you will have zero problems. Grow into it equipment, not replace it next year equipment. Now, if you love the idea of plates but you want the build day to be painless, the HVO is the smarter buy. It swallows 880 pounds, and the packaging arrives so well organized that the whole thing goes together almost without thinking, which is far rarer in home gym gear than it should be. The headline feature is the articulating backrest that travels with your torso instead of forcing you to pivot against a fixed edge, and the difference in comfort on longer sets is enormous. The loading tubes are detachable and accept both 1-inch and 2-inch plates with no adapters, so whatever iron you already own works. Compared with the GMWD, you give up the dual-angle footboard and get a smoother ride in exchange, and for most lifters, that is a fair trade. Say 2 people share one garage. She finishes her working set, drops the pin 2 holes, slides the waist pad forward, and he is thrusting 30 seconds later without anybody losing their rest period. That is the machine's real superpower. The Garvey Life takes the opposite approach to spending your square footage. Its reinforced carbon steel frame carries an operational load of around 900 pounds with a static rating up to 1200, and the horns hold 350 pounds aside, so outgrowing it is not a realistic concern. The padded rollers offer 11 or 12 positions, which sounds excessive until you are the one dialing in. A setup that fits your exact height. Here is the clever part though. It measures just 22 inches wide, nearly 10 inches narrower than the GMWD, and it rolls on heavy-duty transport wheels, so a machine built for monstrous loads tucks neatly beside a power rack instead of eating the middle of your garage. Serious loaders sometimes wrap an extra layer of foam over the thigh rollers to spread the pressure on their heaviest sets, and the removable pin lock safety bar means training alone at maximum effort never feels like a gamble. But what if your problem is not weight capacity at all, and simply that you do not have a garage? This is where the list turns, and the JFHID is the pivot. Somehow it holds the same 800 pounds as the big commercial frames while occupying a fraction of the space, and it rolls away into a corner when you are done. The footboard adjusts so you can set your shin angle correctly, whatever your leg length, the padding is thick and solid, and the fixed arc keeps every repetition traveling on the same clean path. Most people have it assembled in under an hour. It is tuned around smaller frames, so lifters above 6'1" may find the range a touch snug, and the loading sleeves are shorter than commercial units, meaning thinner plates are your friend at the top end. Think of a spare bedroom that doubles as an office. You finish squats in the rack, roll the JFHID out from the wall, hammer 4 sets of glute work, and roll it back before your next meeting starts. That frictionless quality is the whole reason it gets used. If the JFHID is compact, the LifePro Glute Blast is practically invisible. This one folds down to a shape that genuinely disappears under a bed, rides on its own wheels, and covers hip thrusts, sissy squats, kickbacks, planks, and push-ups from a single frame. The padded seat expands up to 5 inches from the base, and the handlebars pivot 90 degrees, so the fit adapts to you rather than the other way around. Resistance comes from bands and body weight rather than iron, and capacity sits between 220 and 265 pounds. Read that number carefully because it defines who this is for. Beginners, anybody easing back into training, and apartment dwellers who cannot store plates will get real value here, especially pairing sissy squats for the quads with banded thrusts for the glutes in one flowing circuit. Keep the load sensible and treat it as a light-duty trainer, and it earns its keep in a closet. The FireDone HT1 is where band training gets genuinely sophisticated. 3 sets of short and long bands combine into 7 resistance tiers, running from 40 pounds all the way to 160, and the frame itself is 2mm alloy steel sitting on a wide anti-slip base. Adjustability is outstanding. The backrest reclines through the full 90 degrees across 7 height settings, with 3-foot lock positions and 6 base settings. The padded support bar handles both thrusts and deep barbell-style sissy squats, so one station covers your entire lower body. Best of all, it is completely silent, and your downstairs neighbor will simply conclude you pace around a lot in the evenings. Advanced lifters will meet that 160-pound ceiling eventually and end up chasing failure at 25 repetitions a set, which is still a fantastic workout, just an endurance-flavored one. Consider a third-floor apartment at 10 at night, thin walls, neighbors who already complain about the washing machine. You clip on the heaviest band combination, push through 12 slow repetitions until your glutes are screaming, drop the backrest flat, and move straight into sissy squats without a single sound leaving the room. No plates crashing, no barbell rolling across tile, nothing to apologize for the next morning. Tension-first trainees who care about the burn more than the number on the bar will adore it. Which brings us to the Booty Sprout, the machine that started this entire category. It ships fully assembled, weighs 26 pounds, unfolds in about 10 seconds, and folds flat enough to vanish behind a sofa. 3 45-pound bands come standard, and stacking supplementary bands takes you up to 400 pounds of tension, which is a shocking figure for something you can carry with one hand. I have used one in a living room while a movie played, and the honest verdict is that it removes every excuse you have ever invented for skipping glute work. The thick foam backrest gives your upper body a stable pivot, and because bands snap you back down, cheating a rep is impossible, so every set is slow and controlled whether you planned it that way or not. Wear grippy rubber-soled shoes since the wooden footplate is smooth, and if you stand over 5'7", a strip of grip tape and mindful foot placement solve the short platform. Minimalist, portable, effective. So how do you choose? If you have the space and you intend to load truly heavy iron for years, the GMWD is your anchor. And the Garvey Life does the same job in a narrower body when your garage is tight sideways. Want plate-loaded performance with the friendliest build and the most comfortable back support, the HVO wins easily. For a small room, a shared office, or a lifter with a shorter frame, the JFHID delivers commercial capacity in an apartment-size package. If plates are off the table completely, the FireDone HT1 gives you a silent 6-in-1 station with proper adjustability, while the Life Pro Glute Blast suits beginners and light, controlled training that folds away to nothing. And for travelers, studio apartments, and anyone who wants zero setup ever, the Booty Sprout stays undefeated. All the links are in the description, ranked in the same order. Tell me in the comments which one is going in your gym, and I will see you in the next video.